You can just... Hello, friends. Let me just move that this way. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. How are we doing? Do, 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 do. I have so many things open right now. I just need 2 seconds. Why do I have every app open on my phone right now? Okay. Let me move this over here. Ahoy, ahoy! Welcome, welcome. Welcome, everyone. How are you? I am not doing so hot, but that is my own self-inflicted wounds. Yeah. Nat is here. Ahoy, ahoy. Um, I said midnight, but then I was like, no, because it's too late. Um, I need to set up everything. How are y'all doing? What do we think is going to happen tonight at the Taylor Swift concert? I am a firm believer that today she's going to announce the 1989 Taylor's version. It's the 19th show. It's 8/9. She wore a new Midnight outfit yesterday. It's very much giving, at least to me, like, um, you know, um, 1989 announcement tonight. I love that you were like 1989 announcement. Yes or no? I am team yes, 100%. Like 100% team yes. Um, like, is it dumb to think so? Probably. But she started at 8:09. Oh yeah, this is all intentional. Yes, 100% intentional. Big believer in her being a mastermind. What if I told you none of it is accidental? The first time that you saw me, nothing was going to stop me vibes. Um, yeah, no, I am. Why is that doing that? I am a huge, huge believer. I'm just hopeful. Is it bad? Is it bad that I'm hopeful? I hope not. Um, Joe says also I'm modding my friend's gaming stream right now, so I'll be in and out. That's perfect. Um, what are we working on today? I think for me, so fun story, or is it fun? I went to the library yesterday and, or today. Yeah, it's still today. And I was like, perfect. I usually always write with my iPad, so as long as things are like in the same-ish place, I should be fine. Turns out I um, forgot to sync my notes app with my iPad and my Mac before I left. They usually have to be on the same Wi-Fi since like my excuse me since my iPad doesn't have like internal um, what is the word I'm looking for? Like internal Wi-Fi. And so I was at the library and I literally couldn't write because I didn't have the previous scene. And I ended up doing everything else on my to-do list. But I did come up with the schedule. So tonight, I need to write scene 2. There are 7 scenes in Act 2, which sort of tracks because my scene number right now for Act 1 is 16, 17 scenes. Um, and so Act 2 being 7 scenes. Hi, Katie. Hello, bestie. Oh, Ellery's here. Hi, hi, hi. Makes sense because it's 3 acts, so 7 scenes each. That about sums it up. So, but also scene 7 is the scene that I have outlined the absolute most. It is that big climax scene. It is my attempt at crazy stupid love, and I'm scared. I'm scared to write it. I probably could have gone forward and written it, but I just was like, no, it's not like the perfect condition. It's not like perfectly working, and so for that reason, it can't work. And so it's one of those things where I'm psyching myself out so much that this might be the only way I can cope. So, as promised, I did finish scene 1 last night. So at the end of the stream, I will be ranking Evermore Folklore. But if 1989, oh my God, I feel like that TikTok meme of like, if she plays blah, blah, blah. If she announces 1989 tonight, I will rank 1989 instead. Because that was my Taylor Swift introduction. Okay, let's do this. If you're a Swift, what album got you into Taylor Swift? I am seeing people already answering this, which is very funny to me. I'm very much Team Joe. If Blondie announces 1989 tonight, I was like, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm not gonna do that, obviously. I'm probably, I don't know. Like I said, I'll rank 1989. I have a lot of controversial 1989 takes. So, all right. How about let's just jump in, because if I keep preambling, I'm not going to write, and I'm really scared of this scene. So, what album got you into Taylor Swift? And then, obviously, what are you working on today for your sprint? I'm going to be working on scene 2, and I'm going to be streaming until scene 2 happens, until it's done. New Romantics is the only song she hasn't played. So, ugh. Let's go, besties. Let's get started. In 3, in 2, and 1. Let's write. Let's do this. All right. 9, 8, 7. It's been a long time coming, but okay. Let's suffer. All right, friends, how did we do? I have to copy this over real quick because parallels. Okay. The answer to this question, we're on a little break. Oh, also tell me, what is it called? How many words you got during that sprint or what you got done? I'm actually going to figure out how much I got done during that sprint. I'm very afraid at the moment, which I know I've been saying a lot, but I really cannot overstate how scared I am right now. But I'm getting those words in. I'm working hard, or at least I'm trying to. Okay. I got, I'm going to guess maybe 100 words. Word count. I got 287 words. Woohoo! Let me take these off for right now. Okay, so what album got you into Taylor Swift? My answer is 1989. I literally remember I was in undergrad. It was 2014. I think in my last year of undergrad. And Spotify was just a thing, but Taylor Swift was like the only artist at the time of like that renown who was like, yeah, I don't want to work for free. We all should have done that. More musicians don't have a union, so it's harder for us to like work against that. But I had to like physically buy that album. I had like no money. And by physically, I mean like buy a lease license of it rather on Apple Music. And yeah, I listened to that song front to back, and I would probably sing it word for word, truly. But I think the thing that annoys me the most about Taylor Swift is that she'll do these drops, right? Where she'll like have like, what is it called? Like 1989 and then the 1989 deluxe. And then she'll drop a single at the end of like blah, blah, blah. And so I was so broke that I never could listen to the extended tracks. So like New Romantics, stuff like that. And I was so upset because I was like, I'm so broke, Taylor. I can't go in and buy a whole other album. So I didn't actually listen to the extended tracks until this year. So like the like standard version of 1989 was what got me into her. And I think it's because I didn't really like country music. I still really don't. I like folk, but that's a completely different thing. So I was never really into her during her country stuff. But once she transitioned into pop, I was like, I want to write just like that. Ellery says debut. I've never heard it. All I know is the TikTok meme of that. My song is her favorite scream door. Demon in there, but the bed your window. Simple Ambiance says, did my first psychic reading today. Woo woo. I've done a psychic reading only once in my life. And everything went pretty well, at least for the years that I had asked about, I guess. She better play New Romantics. And maybe I can do a castle. And then doing me. And every day is like a battle. Yes, I need an 1989. I am the Lulu about it. Midnights. I love every single pretty much extended track on Midnights, like woulda coulda shoulda, losing you're losing me. Those are some of her peak songwriting. I even like Bejeweled. I just feel like there are some songs that don't work as well, and I think it's a production issue. I think a lot of these songs actually belong in like the Evermore folklore vibe, but I know she wanted to write pop music. But it's just like the arrangements aren't really useful for the songs. Like Maroon on piano. Ellery says, I'm job hunting tonight. Got rejected by at least one job, which sucks. Attempting as many as 7,000 jobs as I can get through. I'm on page 12 of 400. You got this. Nat says debut, but technically pre-debut because I found her on MySpace before debut. God, I feel old. Okay, it's a good sign because if you found T Swift before debut and you found me before my big break, maybe there's a chance. Katie says the first album I had on CD and listened to nonstop was Fearless, but Evermore totally got me back into her after so many years of just listening to singles. So for me, it was 1989, and then I didn't hear Reputation. I was very much on Twitter during the canceled Taylor Swift party and the snake. What a time! What a time! I did like the singles of Reputation, but I didn't want to buy the album, and she wasn't on Spotify yet. And it wasn't until Folklore came out during the pandemic that I'd listened to anything by her again. But I didn't really pick it up with any steam until March of this year. I just got into like my Taylor Swift hyperfixation. See, the suffering writing is agony. So much writing. Ellery says, you know what I actually think? I may have Love Story first. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. Literally only know those through TikTok. I don't even remember Fearless as a single. Amanda found this live stream just as I was about to work on some Butterflies Hunt to music. Excited to work in parallel with you. Hell yeah, let's do it. Nat says she was everywhere when Fearless came out. It's impressive she got even bigger. So to me, I think Taylor Swift is one of the few artists that is going to actually reach like Taylor Swift status. Or sorry, that Taylor Swift is going to be one of the few artists who reaches Michael Jackson status. Like when Fearless came out, she was not that big to me. Red came out. I remember hearing her in the background, but 1989, that's when she made that crossover to like someone like me who was just like, she was just on the outskirts of my mind. But now the fact she's doing like an actual world tour and going to like South America and Asia, and the demand is so big. Like, talking to like my cousins or something in a different country, and they like know all the lyrics in English, but like they don't speak it. That to me is like she's never been bigger. I really think there's probably one more album where she'll get even bigger. Just because this like phenomenon of the Eras tour. I just wonder how she's going to pivot out of it, because it's so easy to stay playing your greatest hits, essentially, I think it was really smart for her to do what is it called? Like the surprise songs, because it just shows like the depth of her catalog. Amanda says, I think I'm going to be lazy and only send the melodies for this quartet and not submit the accompaniment so I can make my song deadlines. 3 more songs to finish. I'm into it. Absolutely do that. Page 17. Woohoo! Katie says, wrote 203 words. Yeah, realized Midnights is the perfect album for this work in progress, and then went to make a spreadsheet. I've been having trouble finding the right songs for this particular scene and section, but I think I'm sticking with these right now. It's what I think are the best songs on Lover, but also like I think the songs that flow the best. There are other songs I like on Lover that are like happier, but this Miss Americana, The Heartbreak Prince, Death by a Thousand Cuts, False God, Afterglow, and Daylight, all the same vibe. And I think they work perfect together. So I'm going to be looping those. I'm modding, so no words tonight, but you're still doing something. I saw someone with the username Cowboy Like Megan and thought of Megan. Cowboy Like Me would absolutely be Megan's favorite song. I love Cowboy Like Me lyrics. I mean, what is it? You're a cowboy like me, perched in the dark, telling all the rich folks anything they want to hear, like you could be loved. I could be the way for it, only if you pay for it. Why is that Megan core right there? 1989 for me too. It was and still am obsessed with it. It is the perfect pop record. There's truly no greater pop record. I love vigilante shit. I like that song, but it is kind of cringy to me. To kill a man. It sounds very Reputation to me, and I think I love the second verse way more than the first, but I think it's just maybe it's because like Reputation, but also like eyeliner something to kill a man. That feels so 2012 to me, but also like Taylor Swift is 35, Ellery says I was the opposite. I was like, no, stop it, when she went into pop. And now I get it. But at the time, I had a lot of feelings and internalized misogyny. I feel that. But also, like, I'm sure our country people felt like this is our artist, you know? I think absolutely. The excerpt videos are better than the main tracks, would happily replace some of them. Absolutely. Exquisite torture? Nope, just torture. I actually found several artists before they got big, so your chances are good. Let's hope so. Katie says, oh my God, such good song choices. Afterglow and Daylight are two of my absolute flays. Ugh, they get me every time. I love the ending of Daylight. I think Daylight is a song that the bridge works so well because I think everything else before it feels like dry. It's okay. Okay. So if you're driving from the East Coast to the West Coast and you're listening to Daylight feels like driving through every bit Midwestern straight. Like beautiful but flat, and it doesn't change very much. And then when you drive into Colorado, that's the bridge. Because I can still see it all in my mind. So like the beauty of it hits even more because of where you've been. But yes. Ellery says, I love the music so much, but I do have a problem with everything we talked about in the Discord yesterday. I don't know if I want to talk about that right now because this is how I feel about it. I don't think he's a good person. I don't think we should care about who artists date. I think that many people in their personal lives actually have friends that they're closer to than this artist that are dating equally or worse toxic men and don't say anything. And so to me, it feels a bit like projection-y to be like, this artist should be everything to me in terms of like who they're dating. I think Taylor Swift is also very smart and was like, this like a rebound relationship isn't worth like tarnishing my reputation for that I worked so hard to claw back. But I think it's also like, I know some of you have friends who have dated some shit guys and you were like, you know what, they just got out of a 6-year relationship or a long-term relationship and they got to fuck around and find out. And that's sort of what happened with her. And I think that sometimes we forget that like these people are human. I'm not saying that what he did is right, because I do think that like I've never been a 1975 fan, so like I don't even know him outside of like Taylor Swift. I don't know who this man is. I just know that he's bad from everything I read, so I'm not going to listen to his music. But to me, it's like right, like no harm, no foul in that way, because like I'm not, he's not an artist that I care about. But I think like she absolutely did the right thing by breaking up with him. But I also think it's a bit like, it's just a bit weird how much pressure we add to like people in your life. Especially, I don't know. I just think it's a weird parasocial thing that I think is weird, but it's also like she shouldn't have dated him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it just feels weird to comment on people's personal lives that I don't know. Cat eyes sharp enough to kill a man. The cat eye, absolutely. Very Tumblr. I'm totally the type to drop these friends. I think for me, I'm definitely the kind of person that my friends won't tell me because I would drop them. But then like they'll have a horrible situation that they went through with this guy, and then I'll hear about it on the hi Brent, and I'll like hear about it on the back end where I'll be like, oh, I dated that guy you didn't like and he did treat me like shit. What am I gonna do? And be like, yeah, I told you not to do that. It's just like, again, it's a weird parasocial situation. I'm not saying he's a good person, and I'm also not saying that like she should platform him. I don't think that's true. I think that she should have absolutely dropped him and avoided this. And hopefully she's smarter than this, obviously. But also it's just strange to me. Bart. Ellery says, I'm not 100% sure I agree, but I also think there's some nuance there. But as a disabled person, I cannot excuse her being weird about disabled tickets. Is she responsible for that, or is Ticketmaster, the actual monopoly over ticket holders, responsible for that? Because I think what people don't realize is that musicians like don't have a union like the actors or writers. But more importantly, if you remember Pearl Jam couldn't play shows at big venues because they didn't want to play with Ticketmaster. So it's like, okay, so you don't have a livelihood, so you don't tour. Um, and that's why I think the answer to that is legitimate regulation by the government. I feel like there's this thing I read by the LA Times that was like politicians asking Taylor Swift not to come to LA in the middle of like this, and it's just like, because we want her to side with the labor movement, and it's just like, she's a musician. Don't get me wrong, a musician with a lot of clout, and she could really change minds and stuff. But like, there's a reason politicians are elected into office. And the fact that they're not doing their job and they're expecting like a musician to do their job is really weird to me. So I don't know. That's sort of how I feel about that. Anyone going to TwitchCon in October? I am not. I'm going to be in grad school. Yes, as the artist, she has choices where she goes. She can force Ticketmaster's hand to some degree. I don't think that's actually possible. I think not to the extent that people want. But I do think it's systemic. Nat says it appears it was her because her tour specifically downsized the percent. I don't know enough about this. And if she did do that, then I do think it's on her, and I think she should be publicly called out for it. But I think, like, again, there is, sorry, I got to turn on the fan. It's so hot. There is some room for like legitimate discussion about how much we want artists to take on, why is she off the hook to not do her job because someone else doesn't do hers? I say that with respect and love, not trying to fight, just a healthy discussion. Yeah, absolutely. I think, okay, so I'm going to bring up, like, and this is my opinion, and it might change with time. But I think that expecting one artist to be everything, and this is not just Taylor Swift, but I mean in general, is outrageous to me. And I think an answer I think about is like Mindy Kaling. Again, not someone who's perfect. Maybe she is problematic, but we're humans. So like, you shouldn't be putting that person on a pedestal anyway. But she mentioned how she's like the only, or one of the very few, but definitely like the most prominent like woman of like I think it's like Asian or East Asian descent, like on TV. And so anytime she does anything that people don't like, or that they want more representation, they go to her for her to fix the problem. She's sort of the thunder rod, right? And so to me, and so she said, like, I literally can't solve everything by myself. Like, I'm trying my best. I'm writing what I like. Like, at the end of the day, I'm still an artist, and I still write things that I want to work on. And that doesn't necessarily mean that I want to solve the problem the way that like the audience expects me to. But that also doesn't mean that she should say like, go write it yourself, right? Because that doesn't actually solve the systemic problem. And so to me, when I hear this, like, yes, the line breaks along the line, but it's always like the person, sort of the more famous one, that gets all the attention on them, when really like a lot of other people that we don't know are behind the scenes. So this is not me like excusing her or being like, she shouldn't be able to fix that. She's so high up, like she has the money for that and the time and blah, blah, blah. But it's also like, we need to be realistic about what our expectations for these people are. Because like, if you were put in the same situation, and I mean general you, not like Ellery you, it doesn't necessarily mean you would solve it in the same way. Or maybe with the constraints that she does have, you would solve it the same way. I don't know. I think there's something to be said about looking at worlds in the gray, because black and white means that there's always a victim and always like an abuser. And in situations like this, I don't really see that. Like, I don't know. I don't know, like I see the thing with Ticketmaster, like only the real verified fans should be able to get tickets and blah blah blah. It's like, yes, I 100% agree, but like back in the day, you had to buy a lot of merch to get that. So it was classist. I couldn't do that. So does it make me a real fan? And people are like, okay, well, Spotify tells you if you're like 13% of listeners or whatever. And so, okay, what if I buy her albums and I don't listen to Spotify? There's got to be ways to make things more just and more equitable. But I think there's also got to be a discussion about the limitations of what that actually means, and whether we're asking the right things from the right people. Like, is Taylor Swift going to solve this problem? Or is she just so big that I feel that I can ask her to solve the problem? And those are two different things. Nat says the percentage of disabled tickets Ed Sheeran played the same stadium and had more. Does it have to do with the stage design? I still don't. I think that she should have had more, period. And it's weird that they would leave it up to the artist like that. I don't know. I don't know enough information. No, the nuance is valid, but I do think if you're going to have a platform, you have responsibility as much as you can do to be accessible. I don't idolize her, but expect her to be general accessible is the minimum. I don't think you should be expecting anything from anyone. I think that if you have a platform, you should try and be good, but a lot of people get their platform from being bad because ultimately the people who give them their platform is you, general you, like people watching. If nobody watches, then they have no platform, right? So I think that's sort of the thing to me where it's like people should be good, but they don't have to be. All women's gay paradise more too. The nuance is valid, and I get your point, but like Nat said, she appears to have done it intentionally. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we already talked about that. My expectation to do the bare minimum and then communicate with your audience when you can't deliver. I think that's true. I see the great talking about. Thanks for the clarity. I'm not calling her an abuser here, though. I know. I just see that online, and I'm just like, whoa, that is a very charged word that does not mean what you think. I'm not saying she's a bad person either. She's complex, like we all are. I think that's something that I'm learning as I'm growing older, and I think that this is the thing about like being older, is that I was never one to idolize like an artist, but at the same time, it's like we start mythologizing people, and maybe ourselves sometimes, especially if you share your life online. There is the sense of like creating your own background, your own mythology, and that. And I think as Taylor Swift, who is someone who is really obsessed with her narrative, and I don't mean that in like a negative way. I mean that in like a neutral way. Like she's, planting the seeds of what she wants her thing, right? So we're all like, it's the 19th thing and it's 1989, So I think she in particular knows exactly sort of how she wants things to play out. And I do think that she should be open to criticism. And I think that criticism is absolutely necessary. But like, I don't know. I just don't expect Taylor Swift to be like Mother Teresa, honestly. I'm like, I don't expect Taylor Swift to win the Nobel. I don't really expect anything from her, if I'm being honest. Stadium, Ed was in the round, so more people have certain ADA sections. Oh, that sucks. I think this is also one of those things where it's like, oh, it's expected of women artists to do like dancing and more, whereas Ed Sheeran can just like loop on guitar and people will be just as satisfied. But on the same side, she should have created more spaces like that, like on the floor, right? Because I know those tickets are really expensive, but she should have just left those open for disability people, if disabled people, if she was going to remove certain ADA sections. I think that's an easy fix, and I think she should absolutely have done that. Yeah. Ooh, I do hope they get her then. Yeah. I mean, that's a different thing. I think like there's a difference between like actually violating a law and then her dating Matt Healy. Like those are not the same. And I think those get And I think because online everything gets the same level of intensity, there is no room for nuance because those two things are not the same. One of them caused real harm, the other one potentially caused real harm, but it's just they're not the same. Or maybe they are and I'm wrong. That's just kind of how I feel about it. And maybe a couple years from now I'll look back and I'll be like, my God, you're so stupid. And then people will be like, you weren't 17 and you were 29 and you should have had your ideas fully formed. And to those people watching, I say, have you never changed your mind? Have you never received new information? Um, have you never received new information that makes you have a better idea of what's going on? It's just, it's such an interesting thing because I think, again, like I'm not even defending her. I think just people are a bit too intense about the whole thing. And maybe it's just because I don't idealize artists and I don't put them on the pedestal. But if you do have someone on a pedestal and they fail you, then it feels like a personal attack. But why are you doing that in the first place? I expect that of everyone, not just her, though. And that's fair. That's fair. You should surround yourself with people who are good people and who agree with you for the most part. Katie says, I think one of my issues with Taylor is the way she promotes herself as being very feminist and pro LGBTQIA. I do also agree with those criticisms. I Need to Calm Down is a weird song. But I think on the flip side, it's like, if you are pro, then like the fandom is like, oh, well, you're just queer. You're secretly queer. You've been dating Karlie Kloss, and it's just like, once you're a public person, you lose access to your private life. And that I understand. But I think it's also like you stop being human. And maybe she just isn't as much of a feminist and pro queerness as we want her to be, or as she claims to be. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Miss Ma'am is a capitalist, right? She's gonna be a billionaire. Like, just on her music, she's like a multi-millionaire. And even though I find her songs to be super good and very personal, like, she will happily make money off my back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, her dating Matt did cause harm because she platformed a man that put her fans' mental health at risk and put them in the way of discrimination. I do think that's different than literally taking like ADA spots and breaking the law. But I understand because it did cause harm in a mental health way. I just feel like they're not at the same level. You can agree and disagree. But then she doesn't act like that and yet seems to profit off those things. I don't know, sometimes makes me feel icky. Again, that's why corporate pride, man. But I think for some people, I was watching this video that was just like, corporate pride is stupid for a lot of people because it's like, oh, well, all my friends are gay, or I'm gay, or I don't really need that. But if you're in a small town and the first access you have to like anything resembling queerness is at your local Target, then that actually matters. And it's about access in a way, even if it is rainbow capitalism. And maybe Taylor Swift talking about these things has the same effect because her audience is a lot of it country based. Like, maybe she's the first person that, that they're allowed to listen to that talks about these things. So I think there is, again, it's like not black and white. It's like on this line and this spectrum. It's like, does the goodness outweigh the harm? And when are we okay with that? And I think that's got to be a personal decision. Hi, Tag. Hi. Ellery says, I also wish we would stop trying to figure out who artists and performers are dating. As curious as I am, I think it's inappropriate and unnecessary. I think I agree. I think the issue is that Taylor Swift has made her entire career out of writing about her lovers, which, by the way, a lot of other male artists do, but it's just a Joni Mitchell thing. You could be one of the greatest songwriters of all time, but the Rolling Stones will still write about the men that you're writing about instead of about your compositions. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Taylor Swift, the persona. We don't know her personally. This is just what we have access to as the public. And we are allowed to discuss that because she is a public person and has no access to a personal life anymore. That is the price of fame. But ultimately, we don't know her personally. And maybe she is completely a different person when she's on her own. But we don't have access to that. This is bitch, I'm a library. Nobody getting pedestal. Everyone gets the side eye. Everyone. I want to dehumanize her. Also, I only want to support people who did their marriage. I agree. Corporate pride is super weird. On one hand, it helped me a lot when I was closeted. When it came out, I felt gross. I think it does. It's one of those things that when you're out, you're like, ugh, why was this necessary? But when you're in, you're like, thank God. You know, here's a little flag. You know. That says also, Mike, you totally miss having music discussion and should drop a podcast. The problem is I have to edit it, and I hate editing podcasts if I'm not getting paid. And Larry says, but that is something I kind of hate. I think artists deserve a level of personal privacy. I think people want them to have privacy until they don't anymore. And I think that that's something that it's like that episode of The Office where people ask, like, Mindy Kaling is like, how was your day? And she's like, oh, well, you know, Lady Gaga did this and Britney did this. And it's like, no, like, how was your day? And she's like, that was my day. And I think that the reason parasocial relationships are so strong is that that's what it feels like. It feels like it's your friend and you want to know about your friend. It's why you still are friends with people on Facebook you don't talk to anymore, because some big life update will happen and you'll see them. And I think that people underestimate their need for nosiness. And so, like, yes, people want personal life, but then you wouldn't consume them as a product. Because at the end of the day, Miss Blondie is a product. And even though she writes personal work, all we have is the speculation and she's really leaned into that. And I think that it's a two-sided coin, and it is complex. I think that's the thing. It is a very complex issue because we don't know her, but we do know her, right? It's like why John Mayer is my problematic fave. Like, his persona does not match the lyrics. And it's in that confusion that my interest in his work was born, you know? And so I think for Taylor Swift, it's very similar, where it's like you have this public persona and then these deeply personal lyrics, and you're trying to fit these two together because they don't always make sense. And that's why people are so desperate for information, because we can't, we like knowing. We don't like sitting in that moment of what is happening, you know? All right, we're going to end this because I have to write. I have to finish this scene tonight. Katie says, I think it's hard because art is so incredibly personal. So it's hard to separate the artists and give them privacy, but the art is almost an invitation into their lives, into their brains, into their heart. I 100% agree. And I think that that's what's so interesting in a way, because like ultimately you are drawn to, and you know, a lot of people here like either do like songwriting or musical theater writing or like novels or short story writing, like write like a range of writing, and you are drawn to certain stories and things because they resonate with you. And the only way for something to resonate is to actually, you know, you got to have those resonating sound plates inside you, which means it's something that you are touched by or moved by. So in a way you do expose a bit of yourself, but right, like ideally you would say Taylor Swift is writing from real life, unless we are told that it's fiction, like folklore. But a lot of us here are ideally, right, potentially writing fiction. And so what is fiction if not a lens that we're putting ourselves through? And ultimately, how separate are you? And is writing something a bit more straight, like maybe a romance, different than writing a fantasy novel? Are they equally personal works? Or does genre separate the art from the artist? I think it's very telling, because sometimes it's very easy to filter a work through an artist and that be the only way it's consumed. But I think it's only an aspect. And I think it takes away from craft to be like, oh, this person is motivated by personality or like by personal things. Because even though Taylor Swift, maybe the seed of the song is a personal moment, you can write a song about any moment in your life and it doesn't even have to be real. It could be a thought, a memory, and like a dream, right? So I think that that's sort of the line of that. And so when you write bigger works of fiction, like right now I'm writing this musical, I feel so moved by this story. Is it me? Am I writing about myself? I don't think so. But maybe I am. And maybe somebody will come along and be like, no, this was definitely Micah's life. And I think that that's in a way unfair because it takes away from the craft and the research and the work that I've put in to take these characters from being sketches into like living, breathing. It takes away from the actors. It takes away from other people adding their life and blood into your project. So I don't know. This is the only thought progression discussion I get these days. This was a very complex situation. I was going to myself, I don't want to be a product, but I want to make personal art. And it feels like making art and publishing actually creates a difference between you and the audience. I think that's true. I think at the end of the day, the hardest thing to learn as an artist is that you make art because that's something that's inside of you. But if you want to make a living making art, which are two separate things, you need to understand that once it's out of your hands, it's not yours anymore. Katie says, so complex, Ellery, and honestly, it's a good conversation for us as artists to have because maybe one day we'll go through similar things because people consume our art. Absolutely. And I think Don't Say Carly Kloss is at Eras tonight. Oh my God, I just got thrown back to Tumblr 2014. I think, and we'll end it with this. I mean, obviously you guys can keep talking, but I think this will be sort of my last comment on it. I go into art making with the thought that it's going to be successful. I don't know if that's hubris, but that's the way I've always imagined it. The art belongs to me, but I'd like to make money. And I'm not saying that it adds a filter to my work, but it does force me to let it go. And that's something that a lot of people can do, and that it's supposed to be difficult to do. You know what I'm saying? If it was easy, everyone would do it, right? All right. Ellery says, I do really appreciate you taking the time to get into it with me. I didn't mean to start a whole thing, nor did I mean to offend anyone. That didn't hurt or offend me. I think these are good conversations to have. Very rarely online do people create a space where we can have like a genuine, nuanced conversation where we're going to agree or disagree. And I think one of the hardest things to do is to live a life online without feeling like the internet is going to catch up to you one day. It's a very interesting thing. All right, let's get cracking. It's very hot, and so this way I can turn off my mic and turn on the AC. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. I don't know what to ask. Let's go. Okay, gang, we are in it. We are. These characters are about to fall apart. Oh my god. Wait, let's see how many words I got. Last print, I got 287. So I have to subtract from that. I don't know how you novel writers do this all the time. Keeping track is so hard, but it is also fun. It makes me feel accomplished. Um, tools. Word count. 579 minus 287. I wrote 292 words. Not bad. How did y'all do? Page 20. That's like 3 more pages. That's great. Also, are any of you guys interested in hearing this scene? It's not very long right now, but I kind of want to read it out loud. Let me know if you guys are interested in that as like a little palate cleanser. Tag says it's not easy. Yesterday I dropped over 1K words. It's amazing. I think we wrote 1K yesterday as well. It's crazy. The thing about musicals is that they're not supposed to be that long. But right now I'm really focusing on writing the play behind the musical. So I'm allowing myself however long it takes, you know? Read to us, mommy. All right. That's hilarious. Katie says, I'm figuring out zodiacs for my characters and trying to find birthdays, and making math is hard. I feel that as someone who has a zodiac signs musical. Okay, here we go. Scene 2, Café con Leche lobby. Natalie is doing the finishing touches for opening day when a bell rings. Alejandra enters, running in frantically. So this is the second scene of Act 1. So what you need to know is that at the end of Act 1, Megan and Alejandra run away together. Her mom, who does not like that her daughter is gay, sees them kiss and leave. She sort of got an approval from her dad, but it's not super clear how he feels about her. He just told her to be happy. Café con Leche, which is the shop, is preparing for the big event that morning, the morning of where the scene takes place. They're doing a grand reopening with a whole new menu, and their star drink is called Media Naranja, which is a drink of my own creation of orange coffee and soda water, which is a spritz-based drink, because Media Naranja means like my other half in Spanish. But in the background at the end of Act 1, we see Main Squeeze, which is a similar pun in English, as the new drink for their biggest competitor, Big Coffee, which Megan works for, by the way, and is about to get $100,000 for winning and also lose the girl. Anyway, all those things are happening at the same time. So I guess that's sort of the basics. So scene 2, Café con Leche lobby. Natalie is doing the finishing touches for opening day when a bell rings. Alejandra enters, running in frantically. Natalie. There's going to be Natalie, Alejandra until Olivia comes in, and they'll do that one. So it says, did it have to be reopening day when you decided to play hooky for the first time in your life? Nat, I'm so sad. Just tell me, was it worth it? B. Alejandra, sitting down, melting into a chair. She was marvelous. Natalie crosses to her, excitedly wooing. Woo! You need to tell me everything. So, she came out of nowhere last night. Bell rings. A customer, Olivia, enters on her phone. She's not looking up at all, completely distracted. Alejandra, Miss, hi. Can we help you? Olivia, I'd like to order a main squeeze. Natalie, we're not open yet. Alejandra, main squeeze? You mean media naranja? Olivia, no, it says right here main squeeze. This is Big Coffee, right? Natalie, no. This is Café con Leche. Big Coffee's on the other corner, but they're not open yet either. Alejandra, but media naranja is our best seller. It's a marriage between orange coffee and our daring new ingredient, soda water. It's quite refreshing. Olivia, did you guys copy Big Coffee? Alejandra, what did you say? I mean, that's exactly what it says here on this Insta ad. Alejandra takes Olivia's phone and reads the Instagram post, which is tied to an Instagram post that Megan wrote when she was trying to convince Alejandra to work with her to steal her recipe. Main Squeeze is a unique and daring marriage between orange and espresso, coffee and spritz, and like the name suggests, these flavors were meant to be together. It's Ice Beauty, it's summer in a cup. Catch it only at our new store in the Valley, opening September 1st. Natalie and Alejandra turns towards their poster, which has Megan's Instagram caption blown up. Alejandra, Big Coffee stole from Megan. They stole Megan's words. Natalie, and your idea, Megan Naranja was our ace. Olivia, can I please have my phone back? Yeah, sorry about that. Alejandra hands the phone back. Olivia, I better go. I want to be first in line. Olivia exits. A. Alejandra, Nat, we need to figure out what's going on. I'm going to call. Alejandra reaches for her phone, but it's gone. In the earlier scene, she's trying to rush and leave, and so she leaves her phone in Megan's apartment, which is what gets Megan to go to Café con Leche instead of her job first thing in the morning, because they don't normally work together in the morning. Alejandra reaches for her phone, but it's gone. Shit, I left my phone at Megan's. Nat, use mine. Natalie starts her phone over while working on her laptop. Alejandra grabs it and begins looking for her card. Oh, I guess in this draft, if you've been following this project for a while, Natalie's studying for her LSATs. She's going to be a lawyer, but this is also why she's into like true crime podcasts. So it sort of explains her problematic faves in a bit more of a good light. Alejandra, do you remember where we left her card, which has her phone number in it? It's not technically Natalie, and it's going to be a Natalie Alejandra thing. Natalie, it's not technically illegal for them to make a recipe based off of our review, but it is illegal to use copyrighted material written by Megan on her blog without permission. Why didn't I memorize her phone number? Once you get her on the phone, we'll talk about what we can do to protect her work and potentially ourselves. Damn it, it's not here. There's got to be a reason why I'm studying for the LSATs. Fuck. No. Alejandra, Nat, what? Now this is where we have the background check reprise, which is a song that I wrote about, and I mean, if you've been around, you know it. It's about when you date, when your friend is interested in someone, how you go on their Instagram and like their LinkedIn and stuff and figure out who they are. And the whole thing is that Alejandra is like, don't do it on her. Like, I just want to learn who she is by herself. And so it's a reprise of this now. So it's obviously going to be maybe in minor, a little bit sped up to sort of underscore this. And so Natalie sings, and it's things like that. Alejandra, what are you trying to say that make you doubt? There's just no way. What's going on here? That Megan would betray us, what everyone's about. What is it? Oh, Ale, before Natalie is able to show Alejandra what she found on her computer, Rosa and Joaquin, Alejandra's parents, enter. Rosa, Alejandra. I'm going to actually say what a mom would say. Alejandra Valentina Contreras. All names. Garcia. Okay. Mami, we're not open. Nada de mami ni que ocho cuartos. Where were you last night? And don't lie. Come on. Tell your dad. And that's where I left off. So really, we thought the peak had been reached. We have so much longer to go. This is that scene in Crazy Stupid Love. This is my attempt at writing that scene. Yup. It's the full name. The tea. I love puns, especially when they cross languages. I specifically, when I came up with the idea for Media Naranja, it just sort of came to me when I was writing the script. This was in March. I was writing a new song and I needed to figure out the name of the drink. And I sort of regretted it at first because I didn't know what a good English pun would be. And so I read through so many puns based on oranges until I found Main Squeeze. And I'm like, that's perfect. That is literally, and that is exactly what Megan would do. Like change it just enough, like just enough where like it still sounds new and fresh. And it sounds like a great, it sounds like a summer drink, like Main Orange Squeeze or something. Maybe I'll, because it's like pumpkin spice, right? It's like, it's got that vibe of like something that could become a lexicon. So I gave those names a lot of thought. So I'm happy that the puns are good. The drama, the brave. It's the drama. Busting out the full name. Yep, she's dead. Like she's really dead. The tea, or should I say, the coffee. Thank you. Have I tried the drink myself? No, it's just so I was watching a TikToker and I saw this person make something with matcha and soda water. And this is how lyric writing goes. You have a melody or you have a scansion pattern and you're like, I need 4 syllables, I need an ingredient. And I knew I wanted the name to be media naranja, so I knew I needed it to be orange and coffee. And but I thought like maybe chocolate, technically 3, but it's also summer, so it's too hot. And so I'm watching these videos trying to get inspired with like a zany ingredient that could potentially work. And I saw someone make something with soda water, and I was like, soda water, 4 syllables. Because the melody goes orange, coffee, soda, water. Like it's literally so even. So yeah. It's one of those things that I was just scrolling on TikTok and I got the ingredient. I haven't made it yet, but I have given it a lot of thought because I've done a lot of research into like how to make like the perfect cup of coffee, or in this case, the perfect café con leche, because that's like the name of the drink and that's like the inspiration of a song. But for this one, I think like obviously the orange would have to be like a syrup, and it couldn't be just orange. It's got to be like balanced out, right? Because like orange is so acidic, and so is coffee. So I'm assuming there would have to be something else in there to give it that full body richness, and maybe like a chocolate that's more like cacao based, like has more like chocolate undertones, because I personally love chocolate and orange together. So I haven't tried it yet, but that's because I haven't developed the recipe yet. I think the thing about writing is that you end up becoming an expert on an area that you have no business in. Like I've never wanted to be a barista before, but now like I wish I wish I'd been a barista. Summer romance, that's always the vibe. Like this is definitely summer. All the syllables. It's like it was meant to be. Oh. Should I make like a vlog making the drink? You know what? Like, usually when theaters do promotional content, they're like, what should we do? So I think I'll actually not do it. And like, if the show gets picked up or something, I'll make a vlog making the drink and like get really good at it. Kate is not Katie, although Katie, if you have a coffee machine, you're way closer than Kate. But Kate's the only person I know who has like an actual espresso machine in their house. I'm literally chewing an orange gum right now. Very much the vibes. Okay, but enough about me. Thank you for listening. As I write more of this scene, I'll definitely read it to you. Damn it, Kitty. But how did you guys do? Did you guys have good sprints? Did you guys write a lot? I love the figuring out the zodiac signs. I wrote a musical based on like a song cycle I wrote a couple years ago. I hate it. But I just came up with the idea of how I want to revise the concept of star signs, which is my other musical. And I have here, how did people name the constellations? And that's the opening. Like, that's literally, I think, the title of the opening number. Because I think it asks an interesting question. Like, why those zodiac signs, Cries in big cast. I feel that. I have like 8 or 9 main characters and lots of ensemble. I'll bring that comment back. Hold on. Chocolate oranges. I love chocolate oranges. Understated. Katie says, I finally figured all the zodiacs. I have 7 main characters, Cries in big cast. So I have a Libra, a Cancer, an Aries, a Sagittarius, an Aquarius, a Virgo, and a Gemini. They're a chaotic mess. There's so much water and air and earth and one Aries trying to keep everyone warm right now. As a Pisces, I am offended. Yes, but also like I love like that Italian like bread that you eat during Christmas, that like heavy bread. So anyway, I love Christmas. Ooh, tell us. How shall this be done? Oh, have you had water? Have you had food? Get it now. I'm getting water right now. Mine are on another planet with a 7-member zodiac. I love that. I'm not gonna lie. Right now in my head, I have the sped up version on TikTok of the I can feel it all in my mind, but it's golden. My poor roommate. Ellery says it's murdery, but it is currently just in development, so I'm not sure how many characters will actually make the draft. Here's a plot twist for those of you who have been following this project for a long time, because I don't know how books are in terms of like rewrites and stuff, but like theater is such a public rewriting process. You can't really have a piece of theater without actors. I mean, you can, but then it's not really theater. I cut Michelle entirely in this draft. She does not exist anymore. I found that she doesn't really add anything outside of like the social media aspect, which if I take away gives Megan an even bigger reason to join them. Not to mention, I wanted 3 girls because I wanted more women in the cast, but I can just find other ways to do that. I can make Henry big, Henrietta big, or whatever, you know? So RIP Michelle, you were good while you lasted. She did not survive this draft. But that also means Kevin, my boy Kevin, aka Nick, aka everyone's favorite character in my first draft, gets to sing the background check now. So I'm like way happier about that because I think it adds an interesting voice. Katie says, I love a big cast, and as a fantasy writer, I am in 7 main characters and 7 POVs. How big is this book? Silly goofy mood. I feel that. Girl, I know. Girl, how? A hope, a prayer, and an outline. I need that framed. I'm going to literally take a video of that right now because that's literally Katie. A hope, a prayer, and an outline is exactly the writing process. You get me. I did not cut the Alejandra song. She's still alive. I actually performed her live in front of an audience last Saturday. R.I.P. Michelle. Yeah. Yeah, he's still the golden boy in this draft. If you know Guys and Dolls, he's playing a bit of a nicely character. I do think this is 7 books at once. Yeah, I ain't cutting that song. I'm cutting no songs if I can help it. That's why I'm not writing anything new until I have this draft done. Because I hate writing songs I love that are going to get cut. It's my least favorite thing. All right. Let's get writing, besties. I'm going to have more tea, hopefully, because I got to finish writing this scene tonight. And it's already 1:42. Holy shit. I did not mean to stay up so late today. Do I have to do anything tomorrow? My mind. No, I have nothing tomorrow. Perfect. Alejandra. Oh my god. I can't wait to put that on blast until until we get back. I will write more tea. Everyone else, tell me your stats when we get back. And let's get started. I can still see it all in my mind. I forgot to leave this playing. overnight. Oh shit. Oh, perfect. We have an ad. Use Grammarly, I guess. Shit. Free promo. All right, loaded, 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 loaded. That's exactly why I'm staying up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We are pausing this stream because the Taylor Swift store. Hold on. It's happening. It's happening. I When did I become so invested in this? It feels like a game. This is like my football. It's fucking happening. I hate the cover, so I'm ready to let that shit go. It's fucking happening. It's happening. Ah, how am I supposed to write knowing that that literally the only ever, the only Taylor's version I care about is coming out? I'm going to be insufferable. I cannot tell you how insufferable I'm going to be. Okay, let's get back to writing. Otherwise, life is not going to happen anymore. A seagull pomodoro, let's go. Somebody needs to make that for me, please. I love this cover. She looks so happy. Like in the 1989 cover, she does not look happy. She looks like more morose. I I am obsessed with this cover. I am so ready to let that other fucking Polaroid go. I'm so happy it happened. She looks beautiful. Like I might gonna have to get this on vinyl. Cause baby, I could build a castle out of all the bricks they threw at me. Carly Kloss being at the Eras Tour, not at the VIP, just sitting in row 300 like everyone else with brown hair. Every day is like a battle. Baby, we're the new romantics. Move along with me. My break is the national. 5 vault tracks. This should have been way more. They sing it proud. Look at this fucking cover. It's beautiful. I'm ready to let the other one go. I never even liked it. I know. How dare she announce it like summer, but give it to us in the fall? But also, I've been listening to Evermore a lot this summer, so like, oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I wish I had more vault tracks. I'm sure more vault tracks will drop with how much has happened since the 1989 era. What's the second song? Because every day is like a battle. But the moment is like a dream. Who's the new romantics? Come along with me. I'll be the daddy. Never know easy dancing. Run along with me. I'll dance the middle and all the best people in life are free. I can't believe how good it looks. Welcome to New York, specifically for me. Welcome to New York was my favorite song on 1989. I guess spoilers to my ranking, which I'm going to try and pull up right now. 1989 ranking, Taylor Swift. What is the name of this ranker? Tier maker. Okay, here we go. Share this tab instead. We're going fully unhinged right now. Okay, kids. Here we go. New Year's Day. The only song I like from I can't believe she's closing it out with New Year's. Welcome to New York, Micah's version. That was my favorite song on the album when it came out. I wasn't even in New York at the time. I wasn't even thinking about moving to New York. I'd quit theater when this album came out. And it's so fitting that I'm going to be back in it when this album comes out because everything is about me. Okay, I'm going to pull up the album. Okay. We're going to fight. The Birds. Okay, here we go. Or should I wait till the end of New Year's Day? Yeah, let's wait till the end of New Year's Day. It gives me some time as I'm unhinged on Twitter right now. I can still see it all in my mind. I'm just hoping that it's like the Midnight's treatment. Please. Clean is the best. Night Clean was everything. Anyway, I'm gonna no spoilers. 21 songs, including 5 songs from the vault. I am so hype, everyone. Retweet if you had better seats to the Eras tour than Carly Claus. I'm surprised she was able to do it. Oh my god. To be in the stadium right now. Reputation announcement Easter egg with New Year's Day. Paints clown makeup back on. Because all of my enemies started out friends. The whole section Carly's in when Taylor sang that lyric. I feel that. I think we're going to end the stream now, but I am going to do my ranking of 1989. Something in my tooth. Thank you for hanging out with us, Tag. I appreciate you. Have a good night. Okay. Here we go. I think I've given everyone enough time. I mean, I wrote some decent words. I'm just going to wake up tomorrow and do it. Wild streams. Okay, here we go. Her Midnights. I can't. Okay. Here's the orders. We're gonna have beef, okay? Welcome to New York. Where is it? S tier. Blank Space. So Blank Space is so overplayed, but it's honestly an A tier song. It is great songwriting. Style. That's an S tier. I love that song. That song comes on and I'm singing the shit out of it. Out of the Woods. It's going to be a B tier, mostly because I think the extended chorus is too much. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods? Are we in the clear? It's just a bit All You Had to Do Was Stay. I have to think about the melody because I'm singing something else right now. Because I think this is an S tier for me, but I have something else in my head and it's blocking me. Hold on, I gotta hear it without getting copyright claimed. Oh yeah. Okay. All You Had to Do Was Stay. S tier. I love that song. I scream that song every time it comes on. I love it so much. I just had to make sure that it was the right one because I feel like her song titles in this album are a bit bland. It is very pedally. Absolutely. You can tell that this was her first time working with a track. I don't know how to explain it, but like this was her first time top lining for sure. Bad Blood is an F tier song. It's horrible. It's the worst song she's ever written. It is literally the worst song she's ever written, ever. It's embarrassing how bad this song is. So that's my beef with that, because every lyric in Bad Blood is bad. The melody is bad. Not even the Kendrick verse could save this song. And the hook is so bad. And the fact that she keeps performing it is so annoying, except tonight. Because baby, now we got bad blood. Okay, Wildest Dreams, S tier. That was my favorite song when it came out. And if you know the music videos, I thought the Style music video was going to be the Wildest Dreams music video. And then having to sit through the Wildest Dreams music video with Clint Eastwood's kid. Ugh, but that bridge, you see me and then tangled up with you all night. This is one of those albums where her singles are so good that despite the repetition, it's great. I wish you would. Ugh. There I am in my room. Yeah, I wish you would as a C tier. I don't really like it. I always skip it. It's fine. I wish you would. I wish you would. It's fine. Like it's not. It's blah. Like she has better songs. It's a song that I would happily cut. I have like my videos, or sorry, like my dream cuts of these albums, and yeah, like Bad Blood and I Wish You Would are not included. Blank Space is on there. Sometimes I skip it because I don't really want to listen to it. But did I already put Wildest Dreams? Oh, I did it out of. Okay. All you had to do was stay. I did it out of order. Sorry. All you had to do was stay. You're coming. I already ranked Wildest Dreams. I Wish You Would. All you had to do was stay. I Wish You Would. Bad Blood. Wildest Dreams. How You Get the Girls in S tier. That song, I'm screaming. And then you say, I want you for worse, for better. I could be forever and ever. To know, put it back together. This love is good. This love is it's fine. It's not as bad as I Wish You Would. Yeah, Out of the Woods category, I guess. But Out of the Woods is better than This Love. This love, no, This Love is better. This love is good. This love is bad. This love, no. I'm remembering that bridge now. A tier. Okay. I Know Places is at the top of the A section. Because I know places we can hide. Man, maybe I Know Places is an S tier too. Ugh. Clean is an S tier. I gotta rank these. Hold on. Welcome to New York. Clean. Wildest Dreams. Style. Oh, this is hard. I've heard Clean so much that I'm almost tired of it, and that's hurting it because it just doesn't have the same yeah, that's fair. That's the right one. But those are all S tier. Wonderland. I forgot Shake It Off. Shake It Off is in the B tier. I think it's a good song. It's a great song to be at a party. It's so fun. It's not a song I listen to on my headphones though. Okay, so these are the extended tracks. Not a super big fan of a lot of these. Wonderland to me is a C. There's a reason it didn't make the album. Like for some my feeling towards like extended albums or deluxe albums is that if you really wanted the song to be on the main album, you would have put it in there. I Midnights I feel like feels too fresh. And so that's why I think the songs on the extended version were there because it feels like they're too raw and you don't really want to make that part of the main conversation. But I feel like with 1989 in particular, the three songs, even New Romantics, they just don't hit the highs that that like everything else on like the main section of that. So Wonderland is like a C tier. Honestly, it would be a D tier probably. I'm like listening to it right now just to make sure. Yeah, I just don't like the. The thing about this album is that it's so well produced that even songs that I don't really like have such a good beat and they're bangers. New Romantics, I'm gonna put yeah, at the end of the A tier, I'll put This Love here. Yeah. And then You Are in Love. I think it's a D tier for me. Yeah, every time You're in Love and Wonderland comes on, I always put them. But the thing about these Taylor Swift albums is that they got great replayability. So, like Evermore, I skipped the whole second half until this time. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready for you now. Okay, here we go. So, in the S tier, we have Welcome to New York, Clean, Wildest Dreams, Style, All You Had to Do Was Stay, How You Get the Girl, and I Know Places. Never skip those songs. A tier, we have This Love, Blank Space, and You Romantics. I'll actually listen to all those. I'll probably skip Blank Space the most, but I know New Romantics the least. That's why it's at the end. But I love these songs. Out of the Woods and Shake It Off are in the B tier. I think Out of the Woods would be higher if it didn't have the most boring chorus and overextended chorus. Shake It Off is a fun song, but not a song I listen to on my headphones. See, I Wish You Would is, I hate that chorus. I wish you would, I wish you would. It's not a good song. Replace that one with New Romantics, and we have the ideal version of this album. Oh, sorry, with Bad Blood. Wonderland is in the C tier, but only because I think the chorus drums are really good. Otherwise, it'd also be in the D tier. D, You Are in Love. It's just boring. And Bad Blood is the worst song of her career, for sure. Okay, Bad Blood Slander. I approve. The beat does slap. I think under anyone else, it would actually be good. Yes, absolutely. About the Wildest Dreams colonialism core video. Not the look. We fight now about How You Get the Girl. How? Where? How You Get the Girl is a good fucking song. And then you say, I want you for worse and for better. I can't wait forever and ever. From your heart, I'll put it back together. I can't wait forever and ever. Joe says, I Know Places is low-key one of my favorites. It has sexy gun, absolutely. Hunger Game fanfic vibes, and that's kind of my jam. I love that song. It's so freaking good. Like, it was definitely one of the songs that I was looping all the time when I first heard it. I was showering in my undergrad, like, dorm and being like, I know a place and doing it, but drop it. My love is not never drop it. My love, baby. So freaking good. So freaking good. It's an S tier song. We should have on the same page. We're on a lot of these. Wonderland, D tier. Joe and I are the same. I don't think I've ever listened to Wonderland all the way through. Nat says, I just noticed she's doing the whole including Polaroids with the CDs again. It's very BTS. I can't hear Shake It Off without remembering this Supernatural parody of it. I don't even know that one. Nope. You just need to be in love and you get it. You get it. Even if it's a ripoff of a Fine Frenzy, I don't know. I guess she won the lawsuit or they settled, right? I don't know exactly. All right, friends, it's 2:30. I did write some words in this scene. Let's see how many words I wrote. 579 is how much I wrote last time. So I'm assuming maybe I added like 30 words. And then you say, I want you for worse or for better. I can wait forever and ever. Put your heart, I'll put it back together. 669 words. I think I wrote 120 words. 669 minus 579. I wrote 90 words. That's not bad. Honestly, I'm in a place right now where the girls are fighting and everything is coming apart. So I'm excited to finish writing this tomorrow at the library. That's the vibe at the moment. I'm sad that it didn't happen, but Taylor's version 1989 came out, and that is better. You wrote some words swiftly. And that, my friends, is the end of this live stream. Thank you so much for hanging out and mostly for humoring me. I'm so happy I got to share this moment with you guys. It was so fun. It's the last night of tour. There's no more reason to stay up super late if you're in the East Coast now. And I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it for sure. So it was so nice to do this last day with everyone. And we had a really good conversation too. So I love y'all. This was so fun. This was so fun. Like, legitimately, this was so fucking fun. I'm so thankful for all of you guys. It was a great night. And what a great time to experience it together. It was so fun. I'm probably going to be back late tomorrow. Yeah. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. If I can finish writing scenes 2 and 3, I'm not streaming. I'm just going to bed. All right. I love you guys. I know. I don't have anyone else I could have shared this with either. So this was really good. This is like hanging out with friends. This just feels so chill. Mwah. Bye everyone. I'm so thankful for all of you. Bye. Bye.